Hey YouTube, it's Erica, and it's Thursday, October 4th, 2012, and I'm here to record my week 23 update. It has been 2 weeks since my last update, so let me just start out with numbers. I started my journey late March 2012 at a high weight of 228.3 pounds. I had the vertical gastrectomy on April 24th, 26th, I don't remember now, 2012, and I weighed 215.6 pounds. It has been 23 weeks, I think. Yeah, 23 weeks since surgery, and 2 weeks since my last update. So my last video, I was 153.2 pounds. In week 21, or week 22, I was 151.2 pounds. So from week 21 to 22, I lost 2 pounds. And then as of today, I'm 151.0 pounds. So since last week, I've lost 0.2, and since my last video, I've lost 2.2. Since surgery, I've lost 64.6 pounds, and since my high weight, I've lost 77.3 pounds. As of today, my body fat percentage, let me prop this up maybe so that I'm not looking down quite so much. My body fat percentage was 28.3 pounds, which calculates a lean mass of 108.27 pounds. And that means if I want to be 20% body fat, my goal weight is about 135 pounds. So it means I have about 15.5 pounds left to lose. So one of the reasons why I didn't record a video last week, other than the fact that I've just gotten lazy, is I was on vacation. So I went to Cancun for 1 week. I took a red eye on a Friday, arrived there about mid-morning on a Saturday, and then flew back last Sunday. And so I bring it up, one, because I'm going to talk about some of the experiences there, but two, because I spent a week in a bikini, and spending that much time nearly naked, you kind of know how you feel in your skin a little bit more. And I don't even know if 15 pounds is necessary. If I stayed this weight, I think I'd be comfortable, but I think I'd like to lose about 10 more. And we'll see. I mean, maybe it's 5, maybe it's 10, maybe it really is 15, but I think about 10, and I think I want to stop. One reason is I really just am pretty happy with my body. There's some trouble spots, but I mean, I might do things to enhance that surgically, like get a tummy tuck or something, versus try to lose more body fat, because it's going to come off of places other than my stomach, like my face, and I don't want that. So, but anyway, so that was, I think, spend a week nearly naked, and you realize maybe when you're close to goal, you kind of realize how close you really think you are. So, okay, vacation. Let me start off. Someone's pinging me. I don't know who. I don't know where it's coming from, but I'm hearing noises. Anyway, so food on vacation. I was not really on track, and coming back from vacation, I've been even actually worse than I was on vacation. When I went on vacation, I took my big canister of protein powder because I didn't want to run out. And so I had protein powder. I had a shake in the morning and sometime in the afternoon, and then in the evening, I kind of just let myself have whatever I wanted, which, I mean, really wasn't very much, but I didn't try to really, like, restrain it too much. I had all my vitamins with me, so I was trying to kind of keep up on my nutrition, and but I did drink a bit, not very much. I'm not much of a drinker, but I did have some beverages, mostly water, though. Anyways, so the first couple nights I did go out to the restaurant, and first of all, I traveled by myself, so I didn't have anybody to sit with, and I just it was kind of this romantic restaurant. The whole place it was a big couples place, like just lots of couples, which is fine. It's just I didn't end up really talking to anybody until the very last night. I made some friends, but anyway, so the first couple nights I kind of ate by myself and didn't eat very much, and then the waiters were like, "What can we do? You didn't eat anything, and what else can we make you? You didn't like your meal." And so that just kind of made me feel weird, because I'm like, "No, it's fine," and they didn't want to let me go, and they wanted to give me tequila, and I'm like, "No, no, 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 no." So anyways, I ended up, they had free room service, so the rest of the week I ended up just ordering room service, and that ended up working out better. Now, the room service options weren't great. I mean, it's like taquitos and hamburgers and sandwiches and some soup, but the soup wasn't great, and other things like that. So, and I didn't really try to order things. Like, I didn't say, can you give me some grilled chicken? I mean, I just kind of ordered whatever was on the menu and just picked at it. And I figured I wasn't really eating, most of the week, I wasn't really eating breakfast or lunch or anything like that. I was just having the shakes. So, like, calorically, I should be fine, pretty much. And nutritionally, I was trying to just get my vitamin supplements in. So, anyway, that was food. Once I came home, I've just found, I think one, because I was just a little lonely on the trip. I didn't really snap back right into like being diligent and on track with my food. I kind of thought I would, but I wasn't. But so now I kind of feel like I need to go back to the basics, especially if I want to get another 10 pounds off in a reasonable amount of time. But what was I going to say? But I was on top of water. I drank a ton of water. In fact, whenever I'd go out to the pool bar, the bartenders were like, agua? Yes, agua. They're like, why don't you drink? I'm like, because it will make me feel like woo. But anyways, yeah, people started drinking at like 10 o'clock in the morning, and then they kept on drinking. And with it being so hot, I have no idea how they didn't feel like crap going home after vacation. But so I opted for water, and then usually sometime in the afternoon I'd have a drink and drink maybe half of it, and then in the evening I'd have a drink or two, which is a lot for me. And so, but that was how it was, and it was very sugary, so not at all on plan. But you know, I did. I tried to get some good nutrition in. Anyway, so that was food. A couple, I guess, non-scale victories while I was on vacation. One, of course, was being able to wear a bikini and feel comfortable. I mean, I walked around the pool. If I went to the restroom, sometimes I'd put on a cover-up. Sometimes I'd just walk. And it's little things like, I'm sure I'm jiggling, but I'm not really jiggling that much. And my body's pretty toned. So I felt pretty comfortable. I mean, I can't see myself. I can just see myself not moving in a mirror, and it looks okay. But also, like, my legs really weren't rubbing together. And it made me really remember at my highest weights how my thighs would kind of have to take turns being forward. I don't know if this like little motion makes sense, but it's like my thighs would not just touch, not just press together, but while I was walking, one leg would move forward and the inner thigh would kind of pop forward. And then as the other leg would come forward, the inner thigh would have to not just rub, but kind of change positions so that it could be in the forward position. Well, now I can walk, and they might rub a little bit, but especially if I had like some suntan lotion or something on, I basically was walking and my legs weren't like doing any of this stuff. Certainly not changing places, but and if I stood in the mirror and kind of like pushed my hips out, you can see a space in between my legs. Wild. So it was a really huge non-scale victory to feel that comfortable in a bikini. Also, I was asked about 3 times on the trip about either what I did to work out or just some kind of statement about, so you work out a lot or something like that. And I'm like, I can't, and it wasn't just one time, it was 3 times over a course of a week. And I'm like, clearly my body looks like I do something with it, not just sit on the couch. And that was kind of a big deal to me. And then another non-scale victory was when I was coming back and going through U.S. immigration in San Francisco. I gave my passport, which was like 5 years old or something, to the officer. Looks at it, looks at me, looks at it, looks at me, and he starts asking me questions about the trip. And he's like, "So you were traveling alone?" I'm like, "Mm-hmm." And then he was like, "Do you have another form of identification?" I'm like, "Okay." And I said, "Why?" He goes, "Well, this how old is this picture? And I was like, oh. Well, my driver's license picture is actually worse than my passport picture because I was a little fatter. So I gave him that, and he looked at that, compared those, looked at me, and asked me a couple more questions. I started getting nervous, and he handed them back and said, you really need to get your passport photo updated. And that was like, I was probably grinning ear to ear because I'm like, I don't even look like my passport photo. Like, that's how much weight I've lost, that I don't look like the same person. And anyway, so that was like this big deal when I was coming home. That made me really, really happy. Let's see, and then I had a couple other things that happened when I was there, like tours and stuff, and so like the tour guides or whoever was running it would kind of make conversation, and so of course they're like, who are you traveling with? And I'm like, nobody. And I got a couple times, not just like surprise over traveling alone, but I got a comment like, a woman that looks like you, or something like that. Like, I can't remember the exact words, but the comment was essentially like, it's hard to believe that someone that looks like you is alone. And I was like, how do you answer that? I'm like, thank you. So I don't know if it was just being, trying to sugar up a customer, but it certainly made me feel good. So anyway, that is, now we're at 11 and a half minutes. That's kind of vacation story. It was a really relaxing vacation, other than being a bit lonely. And towards the end, kind of feeling a little sorry for myself, but overall, it was exactly what I needed. I really, really needed a break, and I got that. So now this week I've been struggling to try to focus with work again, because again, I think being a bit lonely, I didn't quite get everything I wanted out of it, and so I came home and wasn't completely ready to focus on work yet. So I'm starting to get back into the groove, and I'm hoping it'll kind of just click. I've got a lot to do, but other things in this video, I'm not going to do body shots because it really hasn't changed, but I did do measurements. So I'll read out the measurements. I think I did measurements about between 4 and 6 weeks ago. So, alright, so starting with upper waist. The measurement today was 30.5 inches. So since my last measurement video, I've lost 0.5 inches in my upper, like, natural waist. And since the very first time I did a video, I've lost 9.5 inches in my waist. Lower waist, kind of the pooch area, is 35.5 inches. So I've lost, again, 0.5 inches since the last measurements video, and 8.75 since the first measurements video. Hips are 40.75 inches. So since the last measurements, I've lost 1.25 inches, so kind of a lot in the hips lost. And then since the very first measurements video, I've lost 8.75 inches in my hips. Left upper thigh is 24 inches, and so that's 0.25 lost since last measurements video, and then loss of 5.5 inches since my first measurements video. So that's pretty significant, I think. 5.5 inches off a thigh. And the right thigh is exactly the same inches, same loss. So left calf is 15 inches. So I've lost 0.25 inches since the last measurements video, and lost 2 inches since the very beginning. My right calf is also 15 inches, so I've lost half an inch. I don't know, my calves are weird. When I measure them, they're not always the same, and it could be I'm not measuring it in the exact same spot. But so 0.5 inches since the last time I've recorded a video, and 2.5 inches since my first measurements video. My neck, my neck is 13.5 inches. So I've lost 0.25 since the last measurements, and 2 inches in my neck since my very first measurements video. Another calculation, I don't know if I've been saying it, but the waist to hips is a very common one. I think you want the number under 0.8. So you take the waist measurement and you divide it by your hips, and you get a quotient value. And so that value is supposed to be, I think, 0.8 or under, or something like that. Mine is, my waist is 30.5 and my hips are 40.75, so the waist to hips ratio is 0.748. So, and it's kind of interesting if you research like celebrities that you think have great proportions and what their numbers are, and often they're like 0.7 or something. So, stomach is kind of a problem area for me. It's a kind of looser fat, and I do have some more to lose. I don't think I have a lot left to lose off the hips, but the waist, what I'm finding is I've got kind of like muscle on the outside of my waist, so I'm not sure how narrow I can really get. I can get a lot flatter, I think, but yeah, I'd like to be a bit more hourglass, but I think as my body's developing and coming out, I'm seeing I'm not really as curvy a person. I'm more like athletic, toned, kind of muscular, so I'm not like, I don't know if it makes sense. I'm rambling. How many minutes is this now? 15. Alright, not so bad. So that's kind of it, I think. I may record another video because I have some pictures from the trip and then some pictures that illustrate kind of before and after a bit. So I may record just a separate video to show some of those pictures, but I think it'll take more time to put together. So for now, this is it. I hope everyone's doing well and having a great week, and hopefully I'll come back in 1 week because that is my 6-month surgiversary. So I'm hoping by next week I'll be under 150, maybe high 140s. 149 would be great. So anyway, have a great week, and I'll talk to you soon, YouTube. Thanks. Bye.